Of 3 straight defeats in a row for the first time in 9 years. They've won 2 matches and they have lost 2. It's not been the brightest start to 1997 for this Wigan team. And I think that is perhaps the most significant statistic. They've conceded 89 points. Defence obviously is a problem for them. Top tackler Mick Cassidy, and there he is running through the screen now with Terry O'Connor, who is the top metre man gained, 175 metres average per game. Huge effort. Now Leeds, Challenge Cup semi-finalists for each of the last 5 seasons, and they've made an impressive start to Super League, and they have an impressive firework display here at Headingley these days. The Leeds Rhinos have won 2 matches. They've lost just the one, the game on Tuesday against the Halifax Blue Sox. 78 points scored, conceded 64, so a better defence than Wigan, on paper anyway. The top tackler per game is one of the new boys, Anthony Farrell, and Gary Mercer, the captain, as always, is leading from the front. Paul Sterling arrived here at Headingley via Hull and Hunslet, and has got 2 tries in the opening 2 games in Super League against Oldham and Paris Saint-Germain. But it's quite a night for this young fellow, Iestyn Harris, 20 years of age, Great Britain international, Welsh international, 9 months at loggerheads with Warrington, just 1 appearance since last July, and I'm sure he is itching to get onto the field. Gary Mercer is the Leeds captain. A try against Halifax on Tuesday. He's having a sensational start to Super League. Right, let's just check through the 2 sides for you again. Gibson, Sterling, Blackmore, Hassan, Rivett, Sheridan and Holroyd for Leeds. Up front, Massiller, Collins, Matthew, Morley, Farrell and Mercer. On the bench, Newton, Hughes, Harris and Leatham. Coach Dean Bell had so many glorious years with this Wigan club, who have Murray at fullback, Robinson, Connolly, Radlinski and Johnson, Smith and Murdoch, new half-back combination, Holgate at prop, Cassidy and O'Connor, Horton and Talek, and Andrew Farrell's the captain at the back of the scrum. Ellison, Long, Hall and Neil Baines, coach Eric Hughes. Match referee is the 1996 referee of the year, 36-year-old Stuart Cummins, who will be in charge of the Anzac Test match between New Zealand and Australia later this month. So we're all ready and off we go here at Headingley. Leeds against Wigan, always an interesting match, and a lot of interest today in this outcome, and there's a typical scampering little run from Jason Robinson right at the start of this game.
Well, we said before the match started that Robinson had to bounce back sometime. He's been off form of late, so has the centre Gary Connolly, and it's stars like that that have to lead the way for this Wigan revival.
Terry O'Connor takes the full force of the tackle from Massiller. And that's Simon Horton. That's the last tackle. That's good defence from Leeds. They've restricted Wigan to their own half of the field. The kick downtown from Farrell bounces once in front of Damien Gibson, and the Leeds fullback now will run the ball back for their first set of 6.
Nice big kick by the skipper Farrell. Wigan will have the advantage of quite a strong wind in this first half, but there you see.
Penalty to Wigan it is.
Well, it's very rare that we see that situation where the team that is in possession of the football, now they've got to get back the full 5 metres, and you can see that they didn't make any attempt. There was 2 players stood around. Now the defending side have to go back 10 metres, and the team in possession of the football must go back 5 metres. 2 players never made any attempt, and well spotted by the referee Stuart Cummins.
So it's an early penalty for Wigan, and a chance here for Andrew Farrell to add to his goal tally for the season. 9 goals. Nothing but success for this man since breaking into the Wigan side 5 years ago. And 16 goals in total as Wigan clinched a Super League double against Leeds in 1996. He's exactly 30 metres away from the Leeds posts. It's a fairly still night here at Headingley, not too much wind for Farrell to cope with. And here's the early chance for first points for Wigan. Towering kick from the Wigan captain. And the Warriors are ahead by 2 points to nil. A penalty that they'll be talking about here at Headingley for some time yet.
Steady the nerves, and you can see how the Hassan pushed the player away. Radlinski made an appeal to referee Cummings. Hassan giving away a silly penalty there, but you could also see that two Leeds players made no attempt to go back. Well, what a start for Wigan. They knew it was not going to be easy. At Headingley, there's a buzz round this ground now. The signing of Justin Harris has brought out a big crowd.
And there's always a buzz when this fella gets the ball. Adrian Morley, big, young second rower, only 19, England international already. That's Richie Blackmore, the Kiwi, another of the new boys this season. And here's another Kiwi, Gary Mercer, who had a huge second half at Halifax. And he's set Leeds on the way with this. That's Hassan to Sterling. Sterling evading the tackle and stepping out of that challenge from Talek and keeping going. Sterling, tremendous run to the halfway line.
Wonderful effort there by the winger.
Masala now the prop forward. Tongan international. A try in the semi-final against the Bulls last week. This is Wayne Collins, scampering run, he's got support. Tremendous run. And that was Jamie Matthew. They've made 88 metres in this set of 5. Holroyd now. Little pass back on the inside to Mercer, and this is Sheridan. Long ball from him to Blackmore. All wrapped up by Radlinski, but he shrugs Radlinski away. And Leroy Rivette going for the corner, but a great piece of defence there. And it's Tony Smith who gets a super tackle in.
Beautiful tackle there by the sweeper Tony Smith, and it had to be. Leroy Rivette looked for all the world to be going in, but what a great break by the hooker Wayne Collins. I think Collins didn't realise that he'd got through so easily, and he passed the ball to the prop forward Jamie Matthew a little bit too early for mine, but what a break. Wigan's defence at the dummy half was poor.
This is Mick Cassidy. Backing up on the inside was Craig Murdoch. And Murdoch again having to vie for his place at scrum half with Smith, the new boy. Smith, of course, having moved to stand off tonight to cover for the injured Henry Paul. Here's O'Connor now, dragging Wigan up to the halfway line, but it was a loose ball back, and Tony Smith was there, but he's all wrapped up by Phil Hassan. Connolly's in at dummy half. This is Murdoch, then back this way to Farrell, who puts boot to ball. And as is the way in Super League 2, Farrell goes for touch rather than for the territory.
Did well to get away with that, but good work by Phil Hassan, who'd already made one tackle and then applied the pressure. But the ball went back to the skipper. He found time and space. Well, you talk about the two halfback positions. I think they hold the key tonight. Tony Smith, Craig Murdoch, it's a new combination, and so is the Leeds halfback pairing. Ryan Sheridan, who normally plays at the halfback, is playing standoff. And I think that Dean Bell has told Graham Holroyd, you really have to show up in the first part of this game. Otherwise, they've got Justin Harris on the bench, breathing down his neck.
This is Morley, and I think the referee has maybe got Morley for the use of an elbow, has he?
Swinging arm. The couple went high there. And you can see there he was trying to charge with the left elbow.
No, it's a Leeds penalty for the high challenge by Holgate.
But you can see Holgate made impact on the shoulder first, finished up in the face, but the initial impact was definitely on the shoulder. Big prop forward Telly O'Connor adding weight. They're on the charge. Leeds have made 2 good clean breaks so far.
That was a terrific tackle though from Talek on Jamie Matthew. Collins to Holroyd and Sheridan. Busy little standoff half tonight. Blackmore, such strength from the big Kiwi. Of course, the thing is, Steve-O, that these two sides have both played 2 tough matches during the course of this week, and I suppose in the end it will come down to physical fitness and mental toughness.
There's little doubt about that. It's whoever can get the initial breakaway. Points early will be valuable.
Penalty to Leeds. Hands in by Terry O'Connor at the play the ball, something that Greg McCallum has said will be stamped on this week.
The new rules state you must not touch the man at all. O'Connor trying to slow things down, enable the Wigan defence to come back. Once you've made the tackle, you cannot even touch the man playing the football. Quite clearly, the prop forward did that. Good to see the referee Cummings to cutting down on that situation.
So a chance here for Graham Holroyd to level the scores. Just the 6 Super League goals in 1997, claimed his 350th against Halifax on Tuesday. Holroyd left-footed, scores a level at Headingley. It's 2 points apiece.
Well, you spoke about the fitness level, but the discipline will also play its part tonight. Indiscipline on both sides allowed Wigan and Leeds to post their first points. And it's a fair old wind out there. It's quite surprising, and I'm sure that Dean Bell will be happy to know that the second half he will have the advantage of that strong wind.
The kick-off taken on the full by Radlinski, greeted then by 3 Leeds players. Terrific run from Stephen Holgate. Great run. In the end, halted by Holroyd. Now Andy Farrell. Wigan on the charge here, over the halfway line.
Oh, Collins got an elbow, fair and square.
And Wigan have got the penalty for a high challenge.
Well, the Leeds fans don't like it, neither do the players. And Collins really did get the elbow. Crunch time. Boo, look at that. Should have been a penalty the other way around for mine. Farrell went quite high on Farrell. Wasn't happy with it.
So that's why the penalty has been given. Cassidy to Murdoch. The runner was Simon Horton. Simon Horton was almost through, and a good job that Gary Mercer held on to his ankles. Here's Murdoch again. Wigan now in the danger zone. Farrell's gone without the football.
They got it all wrong there. Murdoch thought he was coming on the outside, and then Farrell decided to come back on the inside. Lack of communication, opportunity gone. Changed his mind at the last moment, did Farrell. Perhaps realised that he'd rung the wrong angle.
Mercer, good run from the base of the scrum. That's the second time that Mercer has picked up the football and shot out of the back of the scrum. Ryan Sheridan, one of the new boys from Sheffield Eagles. Wayne Collins, another newcomer. Now Anthony Farrell to the halfway line for the Leeds Rhinos.
Well, we've seen the 2 big drives, now the link. But the defence is good. You can see how they moved it quickly. Oh! O'Connor really came in then.
Big hit on Massila. Collins, Mercer. Mercer back on the inside, but Blackmore couldn't wheel it in. So Gail Talek has it back here for Wigan. 10 minutes gone, 2 points each.
Well, a big Kiwi centre took his eyes off the football there, looking at the man coming towards him.
Murdoch, the call was from Doc Murray, the fullback who was chimed into the line, and Morley wraps him up and wrestles him to the floor.
So strong, isn't he, the youngster?
He certainly is. He typifies the Rhino image here at Headingley. Tony Smith, good scampering run from Smith. Jamie Matthew told by referee Stuart Cummings to make the tackle, get up and then stand away. The kick through by Farrell was halted. It's bounced back.
Well, you could see the idea there that the 3 quarters were rushing forwards. Farrell was going to put the grubber kick through. Didn't make it, but they were all offside. They were well in front of the kicker then.
This is Murdoch. Nowhere for him to go. He's grounded again by Morley. 10 metres inside the Leeds half. This is the last tackle. Farrell will hoist a high kick. It's a huge bomb. And Gibson coped with it well. It almost had snow on it when it came down out of the skies, that one.
Did well, the fullback positioned himself well there. You see, just turned out a little bit too long. That wind turning out to be disadvantage to Wigan on that occasion.
Leroy Rivette in the Jason Robinson mould, they reckon, here at Headingley, and certainly the opening 11 and ¾ minutes here have proved that. A couple of good little runs from Rivette on that wing, and Dean Bell, I know, thinks that he has got a big future in this game.
Well, that was silly of Mercer there. You could see that he was using the elbow.
Could have been penalised, but the referee, Stuart Cummins, just has a word on the run with him. Massala, already a big favourite here at Headingley with his marauding runs. Now Collins under pressure. That's out on the full. That will be the turnover because it was on the last tackle, and it will be brought back to where the kick was played.
Farrell applied the pressure. Not the best kick, though, from the hooker. He's having a busy game so far, is Collins.
Cassidy tackled by Holroyd. Gail Tallick is the dummy half. Murdoch hands then to Stephen Holgate. Holgate, the £70,000 signing from Workington during the winter. And O'Connor now putting his shoulder to the wheel. Had a tremendous 1996, O'Connor. Probably his best in the game. Farrell running the angles, but Leeds are aware of that danger and that threat. But Morley moved too quickly off the mark, wasn't standing square. He's penalised.
Well, he's on the ball and very whistleblower tonight. You can see that neither Collins or the big second rower, Morley, was behind each other.
And I think someone said something to referee Stuart Cummings, because he's marched them back 10 more metres, and that means this kick is now a penalty attempt by Andy Farrell rather than a kick for touch.
Indiscipline again could cost them dearly. And I know that Stuart Cummings probably got the best hearing of all the referees in Super League. But he had a pin drop from 100 yards, good that man.
Well, Farrell has already kicked one, and he is going to have a go now for his second, and to restore the Wigan advantage. And he manages it. 4 points to 2. Wigan are ahead.
Well, it could be a problem now for the coaches, Eric Hughes and Dean Bell, giving away these silly penalties when they really should be building up and getting back into their game plans.
So it's Adrian Morley again now. Good work by Gail Tallick, who really is taking his chance this year with both hands. Mercer now, out of contract in June, Gary Mercer, and obviously looking for a new deal here at Headingley. Wants to be part of the new regime.
It's one-out football, though, I'm afraid, from Leeds. They're not using the dummy runners as yet. And if you're going to get through this strong Wigan defence, you've got to try to confuse them. One-up football like that will not penetrate it.
Good tackle again by Farrell. That's the last one. Good defence on this occasion from Wigan. Holroyd trying to step around Tony Smith, does so. Gets a kick in. David Murray is forced to retreat almost to his own line before picking up. Now he has to run square because the Leeds chase has arrived. Good kick and chase from Leeds.
Well, we keep saying it, but a kick is only as good as the chase, and it was excellent there by the Leeds players.
Blackmore tackling Stephen Holgate. Cassidy the dummy half. Cassidy, the man wearing number 9 and playing hooker. He has displaced Martin Hall this year. Tony Smith, Andy Farrell. Ball back on the inside to Tallick. Great run from Tallick. Support arrives from Robinson, and Blackmore had followed him all the way.
Good play by the big Kiwi centre. Blackmore spotted that the pass was on the inside.
Murdoch looking busy. Good tackle, though, by Wayne Collins. Here's Tony Smith. Crossfield kick. Well collected by Rivette. Good chase by Connolly.
A little bit too deep, though. You can see that the winger had all the time in the world to collect it. Well, both sides, I feel, have to change their tactics somewhat. They're turning down into one-out football. That's mainly due to the fact that the defences are moving up quickly and very tight, forcing them down the middle. That's where the little chip over the top should be utilised.
And Leroy Rivette is currently down injured as this attack builds with Holroyd. Rivette is receiving treatment, and it doesn't look too clever at the moment. Meanwhile, Sheridan takes them on. Farrell and Talek close the door. That's the last tackle for Leeds. 39 metres made. It's with Collins. And Rivette is limping his way to the touchline, and there's a space out there where Rivette would be, and that's where Robinson is trying to exploit. That's good cover by the two Kiwis, Mercer and Blackmore.
Now then, will we see the introduction of Justin Harris early into the game? There's little doubt that Leroy Rivette is in a lot of pain.
It looks like it's Adam Hughes, number 23, who is stripping off.
No good.
And Rivette stays on, meanwhile, to try and run this injured ankle off. Meanwhile, Horton thought about passing inside to Tony Smith and saw that Morley was blocking his path, thought better of it. Farrell, lovely ball back on the inside to Tony Smith.
Good work again by Blackmore, who was working hard down the middle, getting through a lot of defence.
Murdoch to Talek. He clips one over the top. Talek's going for himself. Picks it up brilliantly one-handed. What a try that is! The referee just has a little look and will now hand it on to the video ref. He wants to know whether Talek's foot was out as he touched that ball down, because it was very tight with this touchline.
Pretty tight, but I think you'll find that his foot was high. He's all right. But is he? Oh, the ball perhaps a fraction of the second before the toe. It's dead in goal. Well, this is going to be a difficult one. You can just see daylight, and the ball touches down. Well, there's no way that the human eye could have picked that out. The electronic will. Watch for the little bit of daylight under the foot, and the ball touches before the toe hits the whitewash. But what an amazing effort there by the Frenchman. I called for the little chip over the top, and he produced it.
Here's the decision. No try. The Leeds supporters celebrate. Gail Talek, like the professional he is, just gets back in the defensive line. The decision was that the toe touched the whitewash before the ball touched down. No try. He touched the flag. It touched the flag, not the whitewash. So that makes it touch in goal. It was a hair's breadth decision.
Sure was. That's what it's there for. But like true professionals, they came to it. But did he touch the flag, or what is it, the Leeds player that touched the flag? I think you'll find that the Leeds player took it out. Well, they'll be talking about that for quite some time.
Well, the video ref apparently is absolutely convinced the toe of Gail Talek touched the corner flag. So no try. But it was brilliant play from Talek for all of that. Oh, Anthony Farrell straight into the chest of O'Connor, and Terry O'Connor felt that. Well, he's added a little bit of beef to this Leeds pack, has Anthony Farrell. This is the last tackle. That's why the kick's gone downfield, and Andy Johnson is able to allow the ball to run dead in goal.
Well, what a let-off there for Leeds. They really were caught napping there. They didn't have a sweeper through, but it was wonderful play there by the Frenchman. He really has settled in well. He's taken his chances at Wigan this term.
Terry O'Connor's tackled by three men. Such is his strength. Here's Talek again, really getting involved in this match, Gail Talek. Murdoch crosses Leeds territory now with Horton.
Well, we've yet to see the long ball out wide from Farrell.
Murdoch will kick and invite the chase from Radlinski, but not even Radlinski is Nijinsky. He's not that quick.
Nijinsky. Better wish they had him. but it was a neat kick there by the little halfback, Craig Murdoch. He's the architect of many of these Wigan moves.
Well, and he noticed also that Leroy Rivette was struggling with that injury, and so that's why he punched the ball into that corner, and Rivette now goes off the field, and Bill Arthur has got the news, I understand. Bill?
Yeah, I think if there was any doubt about Leroy Rivette's injury, it was confirmed just then when he turned to chase that kick, and he really couldn't get any speed up. And that moment, Adam Hughes came on, number 23 for Leeds, and Rivette has gone off, and I'm not sure whether he's going to be playing any further part tonight. They gave him a good while to run that injury off. It didn't work.
Rivette will go off and no doubt have the ankle packed with ice. Adam Hughes then comes on. Adam Hughes, another of the youngsters here at Headingley, knocking on the door. He's only 19 years of age, a Yorkshire Academy player. Can play either centre or wing, and that's where he is, out on the wing now, as Anthony Farrell takes the ball up. Murdoch, Radlinski, Horton, all there to bring him down. Holroyd, the tactical kicker, thumps the ball downfield, and Murray, 10 metres from his own line, will now relaunch another Wigan attack. Well, he would have done had he not lost his footing.
Well, it really is a cat and mouse game so far. Only a real bright thing we've seen.
Robinson, Jason Robinson, great run, electrifying run from the Wigan winger, Leeds born, of course. Jason Robinson needing one try for 100 in his career.
That'll be back to 6. And he had the chance. He'll play on. Let him get up and play. He went backwards. See that Morley touches the football, so that's back to the 6. Now, Cummings has got to knock on from this. Surely it can only be Hassan that's been deemed to knock on.
Well, he's going to have a word with his touch judge, Stuart Cummings, before deciding who has head and feet at this scrum.
So he'll take the one where Morley touched the ball, so that'll be the first knock on. Well, he's right, because he's taking it all the way back, surely, when Morley, the advantage did not go Wigan's way. Good refereeing there by Cummings.
Yes, it was a double knock on, but the referee plays the first, and the first was by the Leeds man.
I must say, Cummings really is in fine form, isn't he? Best referee for mine at the moment. So confident out there.
Well, that's praise indeed coming from you. This is Tony Smith. That's the last tackle. They've made 40 metres, Wigan. In possession here with Farrell. Drifts it infield for Robinson. Robinson back to Murdoch. That was a planned move. Farrell conjured the kick up. Robinson gave him the call, and Murdoch was there in support. And Craig Murdoch, taking over the mantle from Sean Edwards as the support player in this Wigan side, gets the try.
They were having trouble getting through the defences, so it's the kick that's going to come about. Point is, was Robinson in front? I think you may find that Robinson was just a fraction in front. Oh, it's a tight one to call that, but no way could you avoid the try. It was good work by Murdoch. You'll see better from the high shot. Watch for Robinson on the inside. Oh, he's half a yard in front. Well, pretty difficult for the referee to see that. You can see that Cummings was getting back as quick as he could, and he's watching the football. Robinson did well. He feeds Murdoch. Well, they were denied by the electronic eye. It's going to be pretty hard for the human eye to pick that up, but Murdoch's smiling, and why not?
Yes, Craig Murdoch gets the try, his second in Super League, and tries against Leeds home and away last year. Andy Farrell now with the conversion attempt, and Farrell does not miss those. But the Leeds supporters boo the decision that gives Wigan a 10 points to 2 advantage. Critical factor, Steve-O, is, was he in front when the ball was played?
Well, I think he probably was, but it was only by a fraction. But that's sufficient. As we mentioned, the eagle eye can't pick that. We had to use the high shot and the replay. Well, plenty to talk about here. Tension, but Wigan won't mind at 10-2.
And a little lack of concentration by Matthew. The ball bounced in the field of play and then found touch. From the back of the scrum again comes Mercer.
Well, he must have been pretty confident, the referee Stuart Cummings, because of course in the build-up to that he could have gone for the video.
Yes, he could.
He would have had every right to have used the electronic device, but look at that lack of concentration. Well, he's under a lot of pressure, Graham Holroyd. The arrival of Justin Harris, I'm sure he knows that he's got to really play well to keep his place.
Connolly all wrapped up by Gary Mercer. This is a big set of 6 here for Leeds to withstand. Terry O'Connor, Morley is there, so too Wayne Collins. They're 10 metres short of the Leeds line. Cassidy gives it to Horton, and Horton has the strength, but so does Anthony Farrell, who comes in and drags him to the ground. Now Cassidy spins the ball back out of the tackle. Murdoch goes back amongst the heavy traffic. Murdoch was looking for his second, and a good job that Richie Blackmore was there. They've withstood 4 tackles. Smith, the call is for the chip out wide, but it's gone back on the inside to Farrell, and Farrell is hauled to the ground by Gibson. This is Smith, dabs it through, one man missed it, second man collected it, and it's Gibson again. He does well, the Leeds fullback.
Big tackle there from Farrell. The crowd didn't like it, but he's allowed to do it. The progress had not been stopped, but what a lucky break for this man carrying the football, Sterling, who made a real meal in his in-goal area. There you see it. No one had put the man down. Farrell did, big time.
Now Holroyd, but the tackle effected by Radlinski.
Well,
Collins to Jamie Matthew.
Leeds have to change their tactics. This one-out football, taking it to the Wigan defence, is doing no good at all.
Offside against Wigan.
I think you'll find that there's interference as well. Moving off the mark, touching the player. He had quite a few to choose from, Stuart Cummings. Connolly shakes his head.
So 28 minutes of the match gone, and Wigan ahead. They've scored the only try of the match through Murdoch. Successful kicks also from Andy Farrell. Holroyd back on the inside to Mercer, who bounces away off the challenge from Holgate, gets away from Cassidy, and Horton gives it to Holroyd. Holroyd then to Sheridan. Sheridan back on the inside to Anthony Farrell. Good Wigan defence, though.
Just a little bit too flat there, the second row of Farrell. Leeds have to start running the angles a little bit more.
Maybe they will here. Matthew, straight up the middle again. Couldn't get round Talek.
But where was the support and where was the dummy runners?
Holroyd hangs on, then gets the pass away. Not the most tidy, but Gibson gets it back to Sheridan. Sheridan keeps the movement going to Collins.
Great support play there by the hooker. That's better from Leeds.
Last tackle then. It's with Sheridan. Sheridan dabs it through the gap, inviting the run, but great defence there from Craig Murdoch.
Not the best kick from Sheridan. He punched it into the ground. You can see it just popped up nicely for Murdoch. Would have been better served to have punched it a bit harder into the in-goal area. But at least he's trying something different.
Coming up to half an hour of the match gone. It's a fierce contest so far between these two. Wigan just ahead. Farrell hauled to the ground by Phil Hassan, who is beginning to blossom in this Leeds first team. There he is again, tackling Gary Connolly, the number 15 for Leeds. Murdoch, boot to ball. Good kick too, right down into the corner, but on the second and third bounce, it just took another spin and went dead in goal.
The idea was there. Either way now, he can regroup and make sure that the solid line of defence is equal to the tap on the quarter line. Well, it's been a hectic week for all the Super League sides. And as you mentioned, Eddie, that fitness surely will tell.
Justin Harris strips his tracksuit top off. He's about to come on for his Leeds debut. With his team trailing by 10 points to 2. He'll get quite a reception as well, I think, when he eventually takes the field. Anthony Farrell, meanwhile, driving the ball up almost through the chest of Stephen Holgate.
Well, it doesn't surprise me, Eddie, that Dean Bell, the Leeds coach, is bringing Harris on. It has not been the best effort by Holroyd.
Leeds have lost the ball. Good tackle. Good tackle on Andy Johnson. Murdoch, O'Connor. Grounded 10 metres inside the Leeds half of the field. Cassidy to Murdoch, to Tony Smith. This now is Simon Horton. Just less than 9 minutes to half-time. Iestyn Harris still waiting to come into this match as Wigan build this attack. Holgate with a good drive, halted by Matthew. Here's Farrell. Farrell drills the ball along the ground. Difficult for the full-back Gibson, but he made it look easy and gets away from Farrell, but can't get away from Murray and Talek. That's a good run, though, from the Leeds full-back.
Tremendous work. He's impressed me with his positional players, Gibson.
Penalty for stealing the ball in a two-man tackle. Penalty to Leeds.
Well, not the best effort from the prop forward, O'Connor, at a vital time. But you could see there that the ball was wobbling around. Little wonder that O'Connor got up and really did have a look at the referee, and I think you'll find that the knee dislodged the football. They were looking to get away with that, Leeds.
Holroyd goes off, and Iestyn Harris comes on for his Leeds debut.
Well, there was little doubt who the man was going to go off. Holroyd obviously being told by his coach, Dean Bell, to take on the defence. He has not done that and has suffered the consequences.
So Iestyn Harris, all the turmoil behind him, and he's back in Super League now.
Come on!
World-class player that Leeds have signed from Warrington. Here's another world-class player this time, Blackmore. He tried to get the kick in. Blackmore gets the ball back, and they hang on to it. It's 6 to go here. 6 to go for Leeds. Tremendous run from Adam Hughes. Oh, he lost it. He lost that, but the referee said it's again back to 0 in the tackle count. Harris, first touch. Tries to put Farrell through the gap. Farrell clumsily tips the ball back inside. It's retained, is it, by Harris?
But what on earth did they pass the football for in a panic situation? You saw the referee wipe the tackle count.
And he's just done it again, by the way. Sterling collects and gets the tackle from Talek. Harris again. Masella. Desperate defence now from Wigan.
Will we see the step from Harris?
Here he is, and there it was, almost through. Support from Hassan, and Hassan, did he ground the ball? Did he get the ball down?
Yes,
says Stuart Cummings. But it was Iestyn Harris who created the try for Phil Hassan. He's only been on for seconds.
This is the kick through from Blackmore. It came off the Wigan player, and Blackmore did well. Even though Rydlinski had the football, one-on-one, you can pinch it, and that's you see why the referee is wiping the tackle count. Farrell then later on put it away. We called for the step. The Welsh wizard did it. Hassan down on the inside. Fumbled with it, but either way, downward pressure. Third time Harris touches the football, he creates the try. We speak of super subs, but that is none better. Dean Bell must have a smile as wide as Christmas Day on that one.
And Iestyn Harris is kicking now that Graham Holroyd is off. So what a dramatic start to his Leeds career. Harris adds the extras. He created the try for Hassan, and Leeds come back into the match. 8 points to 10, they trail.
Notice how the Wigan defender comes out. That's when Harris puts the step in. Hassan down on the middle. Good support play. Little touch of skill. All cloth.
Hassan with the try. Join Leeds from Wigan St Pat's, the amateur club in Wigan. So one from under the noses of the Wigan club. But what a dramatic impact Iestyn Harris has had since he came onto the field, just a couple of minutes ago. 3 touches, 1 kick, and Leeds have their first try. Murray is underneath Harris's kick-off. This is Robinson. Murdoch wasn't really expecting that. This is Cassidy. Just simply takes the tackle. Smith was the dummy half. Holgate is the runner. Now Andy Farrell. Oh, Mercer was high. That one went into the face. And Gary Mercer raises the arm to acknowledge the mistake.
He knows it as well. Not a swinging arm, to be fair to Mercer, but either way, Farrell would have felt it. Well spotted by Stuart Cummings. Well, the message went out this week from the disciplinary. They are not going to have any of the head-eye stuff anymore. And I'm sure that Cummings would have told Mercer that. No more.
And Leeds, of course, missing their prop forward, formerly with Wigan, Barry McDermott, because of that. Banned for 3 matches after being picked out on video in the semi-final. There was a hint there of a shepherd by Cassidy on Tallock. Murdoch Murdoch gets the ball away to Horton.
And there you see, just pushed Tallock out the way.
Penalty to Leeds for something else, not playing the ball properly, Wigan.
Well, quite a few of them do that. They roll the ball back, but they do not play correctly. Once you've been tackled, you must regain your feet, then place the ball down. You can see here, the big second rower never did that. Must stand up.
Trying to pinch a few seconds and get a quick play the ball going, but as you say, he's got to regain his feet. He doesn't do it from a crouching position, not anymore. But it's a fierce old contest, this, between these two old rivals. That's Matthew. He plays the ball to Wayne Collins.
Had a busy game as a hooker. He's working hard both in attack and defence.
Here's Harris again. Got the pass away to Morley. They really have some bright young talent here at Headingley now, don't they? Harris and Gibson now, the full-back. Played for North Queensland Cowboys. Last year did Damien Gibson. Harris with the kick downfield. It was a nothing kick. Only found Robinson. And he found Phil Hassan. He's getting through a ton of work, is Hassan, the number 15 for Leeds. The centre. Talek. Good tackle. What a great tackle by number 8, Martin Masella.
Sure was. But again, we see the industry and the workload from this Frenchman today. But it was a big one. Martin Masella, he does not mess around.
Smith to Farrell. Farrell tackled by Harris.
That try really has boosted Leeds. They're looking a little bit ragged. They look lost. It was one-out football, but since the introduction of Harris, they're looking a different. True, ball's getting out wide.
Well, interesting, when the proposed move to St Helens fell through, Wigan certainly made it known that they were interested in Iestyn Harris, but I think by the time that the interest was known, Harris had shaken hands on the deal here at Headingley, and that was the end of the matter.
Well, there was also talk about the fact that Harris didn't want to go to Wigan. Interesting.
He wanted to come to Leeds, and that's where he has ended up in the end, although his first choice was always St Helens.
Be interesting to see where the Leeds coach Dean Bell actually plays him on a regular basis. Wouldn't surprise me, you know, to see him play eventually at loose forward.
But there's a call. A lot of people see him as maybe a centre, also a full-back, most definitely a standoff, but you see him in the scrum, yeah? The back of the scrum at loose forward.
He'll get there eventually.
There's the half-time siren. Leeds end up with the ball in their possession. Jamie Matthew takes the tackle. Gary Mercer, the Leeds captain, will be pleased with his team's revival. 5 minutes before half-time, led by Iestyn Harris, and the try scored by Phil Hassan. Before that, it was the Andy Farrell show and the Craig Murdoch try that gave Wigan a 10-2 lead. But at half-time, there's nothing to choose between these two. Leeds had fluid drained from his knee, apparently, and missed the game on Easter Monday. Fit enough, though, to return here tonight. So Leeds 8, Wigan 10 at the start of this second half here at Headingley. And an air of expectation around Headingley these days, with all the changes on and off the field.
New teeth, eh?
Yes, it's easy for you to say.
Well, I'm sure that the Leeds coach, Dean Bell, we've had plenty to say at a half-time, and I think one of them will be the fact that they've got the advantage of this big wind, and that means that the high ball surely will be peppered to the Wigan fullback, David Murray.
Mercer with the first run, tackled by Andy Johnson. And that's a change for Leeds by the looks of things. That's Terry Newton, who's come on at the start of this second half. Number 21. Anthony Farrell is the man who has been withdrawn. This, meanwhile, is Jamie Matthew. Wayne Collins, dummy half, staying on the field. Sheridan to Harris. Harris then into the arms of the runner on his far side. That was Morley. Harris again now. He's taken the responsibility. There's the first of these kicks that will pepper Doc Murray. Murray coped with it competently, but he was under no pressure whatsoever. It's a good chase, though, by Newton.
Good play by Newton, but well taken by the fullback, Murray. Good position, realising that it was a strong wind. Eyes on the football. Brings it into the basket well. Ooh, swinging arm there.
Horton has a little look at Newton. Newton misses the tackle there on Farrell. He skipped away from him, but couldn't get away from the next two.
Just grabbed in time.
And O'Connor's down, and he felt that. Gets gingerly to his feet.
Oh, he's in Disneyland, I'm afraid.
Caught one then, big Terry O'Connor. Cassidy's right in the halfway line. Smith to Farrell. Farrell looking for touch far side, but Sterling did well. Just plucked that out of the air.
Well, this is the incident. Didn't miss, did he? Masella did not miss at all.
Here's Masella now with the run straight at Holgate. O'Connor, though, has regathered his senses. He's all right, jogging back into the line. Here's Mercer. There is O'Connor, but he missed the tackle. Obviously still is a little groggy.
Well, the marbles will still be rolling, that's why. It's a big one. Big hit.
Matthew brought to ground by Holgate. Bit of help from Horton. Last tackle. Harris just dabs one over the top. It bounces kindly for Leeds, but they had all overshot the boat.
Shows you the skills of the man, and again they caught Wigan without the sweeper. Robinson went down, he did well there. It was an awful bounce, but good option there by Harris. He's the thinker.
And working hard at the marker position to haul down Gary Connolly. Holgate now. But he's got every chance here, Iestyn Harris, to be a big star in this Leeds side. Murdoch. The mistake comes from Talek.
Well, he wasn't watching the Frenchman. Murdoch went out on a wide run and always thought he was going to bring the ball back on the inside. Took his eyes off the football. That's a sin. Stopped running. Was left with no option but just get fingertips to it.
So the scrum goes down, and again Mercer shoots out the back of that scrum in possession of the football. And Farrell have come out the back, the other side, and tracked him all the way. Here's Richie Blackmore now. Horton and Radlinski doing the tackling. Collins, dummy half. Sweeps the ball into the arms of Harris. Harris to Sheridan. Sheridan to Morley. Good tackle by Connolly.
Well, we saw there for the first occasion that Leeds were using the dummy runners. That's another aspect that Dean Bell, their coach, has told him for this second stanza.
Mercer takes the tackle. Harris, I got the impression then, was taking control of that attack, and now he takes control of this one. Finds Masala. Good tackling again from Andy Farrell. The Wigan captain gets through a ton of work during the course of a match. Harris, crossfield kick, that's going to land in the stand. Row B, I think.
Well, he's allowing for the wind, but that was a little bit too much. Well, nobody caught it. No one was within cooey of that one. Opportunity lost there, and he knows it. He really should have applied the pressure, perhaps the grubber kick or the bomb to the full-back Murray.
Holgate grounded, dummy half, Cassidy, support, Tony Smith. Good tackling again, though, by Martin Masala.
Going to take a while for this Wigan outfit to sort out the type of play that Tony Smith likes, and that's being able to spin in the tackle. Remember at Castleford, off-Lee Crooks, for many a year, the delayed pass, that's where it's explosive. But as yet, Wigan have not worked it out for him.
And of course, it's all change at Wigan too, with a new coach, Eric Hughes, new scrum half, Tony Smith. Paul Sterling, collared by Connolly. Sheridan, dummy half. Here's Gibson. 5.5 minutes of this second half gone. Leeds in possession. Let's hear from someone who almost made it into the Wigan jersey tonight. It would be great to see him back too. Nigel Wright, he's with Bill.
Sitting in the stand with Nigel Wright, who's watching this a bit worried. Nigel, 2 points in front, but playing into the teeth of quite a strong wind. I think you're a bit concerned, aren't you, from Wigan's point of view?
Yeah, that's right. Obviously, we'd have liked to be a bit further ahead at half-time than the 2 points that we had. Leeds are looking quite strong in the second half and going forward, so there they go again. But hopefully we can get his defence sorted and put one or two players in out wide and get the ball moving.
Because it hasn't been a particularly good Wigan performance so far. 1 or 2 errors.
Well, talking of errors, a bad one there by Richie Blackmore. You could see that he was trying to get the pass back on the inside. A little bit of a panic situation. One hand, you cannot control a football with one hand like that.
Here's Murray. Morley in there. Harris was quickly in too. Talek once more. 5 French test caps for Gail Talek. Jason Robinson, Great Britain and England international. Brushes away from 2 tacklers. A good job that Wayne Collins stuck to him like glue. Leeds are making the better average meterage.
Well, we haven't seen anything explosive from the loose forward Andrew Farrell as yet. Really is the linchpin, but when are we going to see him? We've seen him now.
Ball back from Murray.
Morley was high. Fullback felt that one too.
Last tackle here for Wigan. They made just 11 metres. Farrell pumps the ball downfield again. And it just takes a little swerve and eludes Damien Gibson.
Tremendous kick. You could see the skipper saying, come on. He knows the importance of the territory. And this is a high one. Boom. Morley didn't miss. First impact on the shoulder, but followed through.
Ryan Sheridan feeding the scrum. Mercer again coming away with the possession. Just 8 minutes of this second half gone, and as we were during the break, 2 points the difference. Whoops. Matthew went without the ball.
Well, a simple error there.
Good work, though, from Tony Smith here.
That's the second occasion that we've seen Leeds fritter away the possession. It's not what they need. They really did want to get back into the swing of this situation. But a key area is going to be, well, when the 2 coaches utilise the subs bench. There's a lot of tired bodies out there.
Well, yes, Leeds have made a couple of changes. Wigan have yet to introduce a newcomer. Connolly. Smith was there in support. Murray again. Morley there, and so to Damien Gibson. Here's Murdoch. The runner is O'Connor. And O'Connor looks over his shoulder, but there was no one in support. Cassidy into the arms of Murdoch. Murdoch wrestled to the ground 10 metres short of the Leeds line.
Good work by the prop forward Matthew then.
Farrell from dummy half. The big man grounded. Good tackle by Harris and Jamie Matthew. Last tackle here for Wigan. Smith going on his own. Just held up. It was a try-saving tackle. That's Matthew on top.
Well, full credit to Wigan. They run the power play. Tony Smith showing the dancing ability.
Tremendous tackle from Morley, though.
He really was Johnny on the spot, and he needed to be.
Now here's Paul Sterling.
Good work by the winger. Quick play the ball, and you could see how many yards that he came out.
Harris delays the pass to Blackmore. Good quick hands, Gibson. Then out wide it goes here to Hughes. And Hughes cuts in off the touchline. But Robinson and Horton were there as the reception committee. Blackmore is the dummy half. Sheridan into the arms of Harris. The runner on the inside was to Newton.
It looked a bit forward on that occasion. Stuart Cummins lifted the whistle, but didn't blow it.
Angle kick from Harris. He's chasing it himself. Murray was there and he let it go. And it was a good job that Andy Johnson came in off the wing and picked up the pieces. Oh, Murray behind his own post.
What on earth is he doing, this full back?
Referee's got them for a penalty, though. Leeds moving off the mark.
And lucky to get away with it. Well, this full-back Murray, they call him Mr. Casual. It was a good job that Johnson was onto it. Talk about giving your coach nightmares. Oh.
Well, the referee's whistle sounded, and Wigan, in the end, didn't need to worry.
But he went back.
Sorry.
He went back for that ball to the full-back Murray as though he was on a Sunday afternoon stroll. Johnson came to the rescue.
Murdoch to Smith. Tony Smith taking them on up the middle. Good tackle from Collins. Newton was there as well. Robinson dummy half. Murdoch. Tallick. We talk consistently about the number of internationals that Wigan have lost. That's fair enough. 16 have gone in the past 3 years, but they still have 11 internationals in their 17 out there. That was one of them, Gary Connolly, but it wasn't an international standard pass. Eric Hughes just looking a little anxiously on from the front row of the director's box here. Newton gets away from Holgate. Taking them on, Newton. Good support from Harris. He called for that. And Harris into the arms of Sheridan. Sheridan with Robinson all round him like a wasp. Harris, not the best ball. Blackmore did well. Oh, and I almost got Adam Hughes away. And Hughes just couldn't take the pass in.
Well, they really are forcing this football when the situation doesn't call for it. There's plenty of time. And there you see the coach shaking his head. He knows that they really should have applied that pressure. We talk about the pepper in the full-back, David Murray, who's not the best under the high ball. And as yet, they've only utilised it once.
Certainly there's a bit of a wind got up as this match has progressed here tonight. And Leeds playing with a very strong breeze now at their backs. And those statistics about the attacking kicks backing up exactly what you say. Leeds have only put in 3 in this entire match so far. Cassidy now. Murdoch for support. Big call then on his inside from Tony Smith. Murdoch in the end takes the tackle. Cassidy dummy half. This is Farrell. The runner's Connolly. Connolly gets the pass away to Smith. And Gibson stood up to the challenge well and held him out.
Did well.
Martin Hall has come on for Holgate. Tallick to Radlinski. Good defence from Harris and Hassan. Martin Hall trying to re-establish himself as #1 hooker at Central Park. Murdoch gives it a bit of air to Farrell. The call on the inside from Connolly. Connolly to Robinson. Robinson, is that the 100th try of his career? It most certainly is. Jason Robinson, 15 tries against Leeds over the years since 1993, and that one takes him beyond the 100 for his career.
Put it down to the old firm. Connolly and Robinson combining, but look at the little dummy there from Farrell. Good play, good support. Winger coming up from the touchline with a little shimmy from Farrell. Murdoch out wide, but watch it shimmy. They thought it was going to kick. You could see that the hooker went back on the inside, and Robinson takes advantage. Keeping the ball alive. Little shimmy. They thought it was going to be a kick. See how the defence at Leeds failed to come through. They held back. It was too late. Shut the gate. Robinson's over. The skills of Connolly. Robinson finishing is superb.
It is superb, Jason Robinson. 100 career tries now. A try in each of the last 3 here before tonight. Check that and make it each of the last 4. Andrew Farrell now, bang in front, and right behind the posts is the big screen, and Andy Farrell can see himself. It doesn't put him off, though. He's not fazed by things like that, the man of steel. And we're going to have a 16 points to 8 lead.
4 Leeds defenders there. They've failed to fill the gap, and this results in the try. Neat little switch back on the inside. Connolly, the strength. Was it forward? Pretty close. There's been some close ones tonight.
Jason Robinson. So many times he's crossed the whitewash against the club, of course, in the city of his birth. So Wigan have a 16 points to 8 lead, and the Leeds crowd certainly, having looked at those replays, booing the fact that the try was given, but camera angles make forward passes look even more forward and legal passes look forward. Sterling not debating the issue, neither's Wayne Collins. Here's Harris. Harris attacking them down the middle. It was a great tackle from Talek. Mercer dummy half.
No, they're not throwing the towel in. They really are forcing the issue now. But Leeds have to make sure they keep hold of this football.
Jim Leatham has come on for Leeds. Little dab through with the outside of his boot from Sheridan. Hassan was hunting, and Andy Johnson was content to hack the ball behind.
Tremendous play. You could see that the winger was peeling off before that kick came across. Quick thinking by the young winger. See how he was turning already, anticipating the kick, covered it well. He knew Hassan was going, but the winger had already peeled. He'd covered up the situation. Oh, lovely little kick by Sheridan, but it was equal to the task, was the winger.
Holroyd has returned, and he collects that drop out from underneath the posts. He's come on for Ryan Sheridan, and that gave you an indication really of just how strong the wind has got up here at Headingley. The ball only reached the 20-metre line. Here's Harris. Harris dumps the ball back into the arms of Mercer. Collins is there, scrambling defence now from Wigan, and O'Connor just holds him out 8 metres short of the line. Here's Harris again. Harris to Blackmore, he misses him out, looks for Gibson, only finds Robinson.
A wasted effort. It was not the best pass from Harris. The idea was there. Robinson caught one for his corner. There's been some big hits. It's been a rough and tough one. Went to ground, and Robinson put his body on the line.
That ball's come out. It was stolen in a 2-man tackle. Penalty to Wigan.
Well, the indiscipline there. Getting a bit frustrated, are the Leeds players. See the 2 players in attendance.
And Wigan have taken a very quick tap penalty.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. This wind really has got even worse now.
Another screen for a forward pass from the terraces. Stuart Cummings remains unimpressed.
Well, they do it all the time here, don't they? I think they come in the midweek and practice.
Murdoch to Smith, to Farrell. Back on the inside was Horton. Support there from Smith again. Good tackle. Great tackle from Marcella. Here's Connolly. Connolly looking for support. Can't get that ball away. Newton there, and so too is Jim Leatham. Leatham, number 30, playing for the first time in 2 years in the first team. That's a nasty bounce, and Sterling did well under pressure from Andy Johnson.
Playing well as a winger, Johnson. He doesn't get many write-ups, doesn't get all the raps he deserves, but he's a fine footballer.
Adam Hughes was offered the touchline by Jason Robinson and declined the invitation. Here's Blackmore. That's a better run from the big Kiwi, much better. He's got away from them twice, looking for support, and he shrugs Cassidy off again, but can't get away from Martin Hall.
Well, surely that should lift the Leeds side. Talk about leading by example, second effort. Kiwi really put his body on the line then.
Jim Leatham now gets to his feet. Holroyd's the dummy half. The runner's Morley. What a great run. Burnstalling run up the middle. Morley's taking on Murray. Look at the speed of him for the second row. And Radlinski came down to cut him down. Mercer dummy half. Leeds are on the charge. Harris, Mercer again. Desperate Wigan defence once more. Holds big Gary Mercer out. Wayne Collins is the dummy half. Into the arms of Harris again. Long ball to Holroyd. Holroyd will just drift one through. Well picked out again by Johnson. Great run though from Morley, put Leeds in that position.
Option was good, but again we see this young winger. Andrew Johnson deserves a lot of praise. His positional sense there was superb.
Quarter of this match remaining. It's time you got dialing for your man of the match votes. 0891 66 55 25. If you've seen a candidate worthy of your vote, give us a ring now. 0891 66 55 25 for your man of the match. Gary Connolly goes into dummy half for Wigan. Suddenly he's started to inject himself into this match during the second half. Martin Hall on the last tackle, plays it to Smith. Smith to Farrell, and Farrell hammers the ball downfield into the teeth of this wind. Just a bit too much behind it though, and Gibson is able to allow the ball to run down.
Well, Farrell couldn't believe it that it went so quickly. And there you see Wayne Collins trying to slow things down until they get set up. Well, they don't want to mess around. Although
penalty against Murdoch. His hands were all over the ball as Hassan tried to play it then.
Lack of discipline there again from Murdoch. They're getting tired. You mentioned earlier that it's been an hectic week for all the Super League teams.
Yes, Leeds played Tuesday night, Wigan Monday. Coming into this match on the back of 2 defeats each, these two.
Well, I must say, Eddie, this little tap that the hooker Wayne Collins does, I'm not so sure that that is correct. He's supposed to release the football, but I don't think he's doing it.
That was well picked up by Gibson, and that ball went backwards. Hassan is able to pick up the pieces. Yestin Harris is there, always offering himself as the alternative for Leeds. Damien Gibson scampers away from dummy half. Hauled to the ground though by Simon Horton. Collins into the arms of Holroyd. Holroyd taking them on.
Well, it took a bit of genius from Yestin Harris to get them back in the game. Can we see it again?
This is Mercer. Great run from the Leeds captain. Led the second half revival. That's a penalty. They were all over Mercer as he tried to get back to his feet. Now, will Leeds take the 2, or will they go for more?
Good run by Mercer, and you can see that the Wigan skipper all over the New Zealander. Tried to hold him back, make sure that his defence got through. Supposed to release him and roll away. He failed to do that. And I think another one from the Wigan side. They could see them down to 12 men. The patience of the referee, Stuart Cummings, is being tested.
Well, Graham Holroyd has snatched the ball, and he is the man who's putting it on the little mountain of sand. He's now taken over the goal-kicking duties from Yestin Harris. And Holroyd here has the chance to put Leeds back to within 6 points. That's a converted try, that's all. Holroyd left-footed, sweeps the ball over the bar. Leeds 10, Wigan 16. This match is far from done or dusted.
Sensible option to go for the 2. Converted try separates the teams now. And with this strong wind, it's increasing as the seconds go by. So the high kick could turn this game. It really is swirling out there now.
Rhinos 10, Warriors 16. Robinson's underneath the kickoff. Plenty of time for Leeds to come back and win this match. Plenty of time for Wigan to hang on and go on even further. Neil Baines, by the way, has come on for Terry O'Connor. Eric Hughes making another change. Baines, 19 years old, the Academy International. Formerly with the Wigan St Jude's Amateur Club. It's a real hotbed of rugby league, the town of Wigan, isn't it?
Sure is, and he's a big boy, big lump of a lad. So, and there you see how the Ball just hangs in this strong wind, and it could prove, oh, they missed a chance.
They did. Talek was looking for that ball as it came swirling back in the wind. And luckily for Leeds, it was they who reacted quicker.
Get away.
Look how it hung there. Chance just couldn't get through.
Here's Paul Sterling.
It's important that Leeds do not panic now. There's still plenty of time remaining.
Blackmore with a tremendous run. Again, the Wigan defence cuts him down. Adam Hughes is the dummy half. Into the arms of Holroyd. Holroyd to Harris. Harris, lovely dummy. He's through a gap. He tries to sidestep round Doc Murray. He was on his own. No one had gone with him. Newton's there now.
Leeds,
Newton looking for support.
Leeds have to be careful. You saw 3 dummy halves there. Supposed to retire 5.
Here's
They've got
Harris
to be
again.
cautious.
Harris again to Holroyd. Out wide it goes to Hassan. Hassan for the corner, gets the try. His second. Tremendous strength from the young Hassan. And there's another from the Wigan area. He joined from Wigan St Pat's. And how important might that try be against the Wigan Warriors?
Good play from Leeds. They run with the power play. Did not opt for the kick. It was Harris that got him to the situation. Holroyd out wide, but what on earth was Gary Connolly doing here? He had him set up. Connolly will come through. Johnson was caught. He should have made it. He went far too high. Slips off the top. But let's not take anything away from Hassan. Harris's skills. You see how we just sucked in 3 players there. Holroyd step out wide. Johnson had gone in off the wing. Over the top from Connolly. Hassan. He puts Leeds back in this match. We're in for a thriller. Full credit to Holroyd. He took the gamble. Johnson had come in to look after the second rower. Morley. Hassan is in.
Phil Hassan having a real run in the first team, and here's an important kick from Holroyd. Look at this. The score's a level. What a kick from Holroyd. 16 points all. They're dancing on the terraces here at Headingley. Hassan and Holroyd. The Leeds 1-2.
There you see how Johnson comes off. He looked in, ball out wide. And Hassan, the centre, slips underneath. Connolly, not the best effort. It's vital. Connolly may have made the try for Robinson, but I'm afraid he's made a boo-boo there.
Phil Hassan, 2 clean breaks, 2 tries. Deep kick-off from Leeds. Underneath it, Johnson. Leeds now will want to keep Wigan penned back there on their own line, get the possession, and who knows, even at this early stage, with just 12 and a half minutes left for play, pop over a 1-pointer. There's Neil Baines. 53% of the play, Leeds to 47 from Wigan, and Wigan now know that they are looking down the barrels of a 3rd straight defeat in Super League. Leeds have certainly clawed their way back into this match in the last 10 minutes.
And all it's taken is 2 pieces of magic from the Welsh wizard, Justin Harris. Created their first try, and it was a jinking run that put him into that position. He got himself involved. Sheer quality, the class, has put Leeds on level terms.
Here's Morley. Great run again from Morley. It was his run about 12 minutes ago that lifted this Leeds side visibly. It was a tremendous run, but that's not the best pass. Mercer tossing the ball back inside. Martin Hall accepting the gift.
I told him not to panic, and that's what they're doing, because the word would have got out. Dean Bell would have been saying, possession, we must keep it. Run out our 6. Keep that pressure on Wigan.
That's 2 tackles gone for Wigan. They now start to turn the screw. This is Connolly. Connolly with a little gap. Looks over the shoulder, nobody there. Dean Bell anxiously looking on. Robinson. Typical scampering run from Robinson. And Adam Hughes would not be brushed away. Hall in at dummy half. Smith. Farrell now. Runner is Latlinski. Bounced off his chest.
He delayed the pass.
It's
He'll
play
play
on.
the advantage.
Damien Gibson on the run.
Good refereeing there by Stuart Cummings. Instead of putting the scrum down, Gibson cleared away.
Marcelo there. Masella might lead him. Masella to Gibson. He's dropped it into the arms of Robinson. He delayed the pass.
Why on earth does a prop forward not pass the ball to a three-quarter long before that? Prop forwards do not have the same speed as a three-quarter. That's why they put their heads in the pack. He made a beautiful break, and Gibson was virtually walking at the side of him. He should have offloaded straight away. This is the break. Look at Gibson. He's saying, give me the damn thing.
Well, is that the moment when Martin Masella knows that the game slipped away from his team? Or is there still more drama in the last 10 minutes here? Gibson, the man who thought he was on his way to the try line, tosses the ball back into the arms of Sterling, and Sterling again evades too. Murdoch with a good tackle.
It had to be as well, but good play by Farrell. In this strong wind, you notice he kicked the ball very low, made sure the wind couldn't get to it.
Let's have your calls now and your votes for man of the match. There are candidates all over this pitch, and the man of the match might yet win this game. Harris now. Good ball to Holroyd. They're breaking the tackles, Leeds. But that was a super tackle from Tony Smith. Collins. Harris again. Hits Smalley and he tries to go through the gap. Wigan have missed 24 tackles. It could be crucial. Harris involved in everything now.
He's added a new dimension to this Leeds outfit. He's running hot. Oh, Blackmore was lucky to get that.
Here's Harris again, into the arms of Holroyd. They've stacked the attack this side. Holroyd bounces off Radlinski. That will be the last tackle. They are 10 metres short of the line, and Harris will hammer the ball across field again. Underneath it this time is Sterling. Sterling has been so elusive all night, and Sterling is just 2 metres short. What a great tackle that was, and it was Gary Connolly who's injured.
He's out on his back, he's a big centre, Connolly. Sterling was on it. Blackmore was juggling. It came off. It must have been offside. Referee didn't see it, Stuart Cummings. Oh, it's all happening here.
Cassidy.
Don't move 1 minute.
What a tremendous match this is. All we expected from it and a little bit more. And I've got the feeling we haven't seen the last of it yet. Murdoch back on the inside to Robinson. Robinson to Farrell. Farrell gets it back to Talek. He's had a big game, the Frenchman. Still going, Gail Talek. Tremendous run.
Wigan now running the angles, but here comes the kick. Will he keep it low again, Farrell?
It's with Murdoch. Murdoch drills it this way. Not the best kick. Gibson will run this back on the zero tackle. Now he'll straighten up. Good run from Damien Gibson. Sterling, so close just a few moments ago. Leeds still winning the battle in terms of average metres gained. Here's a man who makes good metres up the middle normally, Adrian Morley.
Wigan were pretty quick to get back in that one line of defence. It looked as though they could get the overlap Leeds, but they've filled in well.
Harris, Holroyd, Holroyd to Blackmore. Blackmore, back to Harris again. Harris trying to get away from Cassidy and does, trying to step round Hall and can't. Well, Wigan have realised that Harris is the danger man. Mercer. That's the last tackle. Is it time for a one-pointer? Leeds have got the wind at their backs. It's with Holroyd. Holroyd hoists the high kick. That will go way, way into the terraces behind. It wasn't the best pass.
He knows it too. That was dumb play. He really should have been back in a position to take the 1 point. Why on earth they didn't want it? Makes no difference if you win by 100 or 1. A win is a win, and Leeds are desperate for this. I know one thing, if Wigan get anywhere near the Leeds sticks, they'll go for it.
Robinson, 10 metres inside his own half, penalty. They were pulling at him. Quick tap penalty by Cassidy.
Quick thinking there, he could see that Leeds were going back slow, shaking their heads.
Talek. Great run from Talek, turns in the tackle under Leatham's challenge. No one there. Not played properly by Talek.
He moved off the mark. Well, it's going and swaying either way. See how he moved off the mark? The man was square. The hooker, Wayne Collins, did everything right. The Frenchman didn't.
Hassan, who scored 2. Well, it's a big last 5 here. Matthew just has to take the tackle. Collins dummy half. Terry Newton takes that tackle. Leeds working their way towards the posts. Holroyd dabs it through. He goes down in a heap, Holroyd. They're claiming he was taken out after the ball was played. Stuart Cummings says no, play on. And that's the 0 tackle.
Once again, we see Holroyd put it through. He doesn't have to move out of the way. And Talek didn't. But again, we saw Andy Johnson coming to the rescue. How many times has he done that? Oh, what a pass.
Robinson, Smith. Smith, no one there, takes the tackle from Matthew again. Robinson will scamper away here. Hauled down by Terry Newton. 3 tackles gone for Wigan. Farrell to Radlinski. Radlinski back to Cassidy. Cassidy almost through. Blackmore's after him. And Blackmore hauls him down. Martin Hall. Where's the support? It arrives eventually from Neil Baines. And Baines takes Wigan to the 20-metre line. That's the last tackle for Wigan. Is it going to be a drop goal from Farrell? He shapes for it, but he's not got it off the ground. Not in this wind. Sterling waited for it. Off goes Paul Sterling.
Good play by the hooker, Wayne Collins. He put Farrell under a lot of pressure. That's why it was a nothing kick.
Gibson. Great run down the wing.
Here you see Collins go for him. Talk about putting your body on the line on that occasion. He did, he dived. It was enough.
Well, the excitement here is incredible. And this match could yet have a twist or a turn for us.
Another great tackle by the big second rower, Simon Horton. He's working overtime in defence. The legs have to be tired on both sides.
Long ball from Harris. It was risky business.
He'll play the first knock on.
Gail Talek was hunting the interception then. That's the turnover. Robinson.
And that could be the game now. With less than 3 minutes remaining, they'll drive. They'll use the big forwards. They're in no rush, Wigan. They will go towards these sticks. Remember, it's a strong wind against them. They have to be pretty close.
Murdoch supports there from Connolly. Connolly looks for Tony Smith and finds him. That was a great tackle. And it was Massala with the tackle. Here now is Horton. Wigan coming strong in the last 3 minutes. That's how close they are. 4 tackles gone. 48 metres made. Murray.
This has got to be the one-pointer.
He's so close, Murray. That's the last. Murdoch's there. Farrell's there. It's with Andy Farrell. Drop goal attempt. He gets the 1 point. Andy Farrell gets the 1 point that could win this match for Wigan.
Basic principle of rugby league football. Play as a team, set it up. When you've got the chance, take the opportunity. A big sigh of relief from the bench there. The Wigan coach, Eric Hughes, knows that that could be vital. So does the Leeds coach. He knows that they bombed the chance. Instead of going for the 1 point, they went for the power play. It did not come off.
And of course, in Super League, it's the scoring team that kicks off. And so Wigan, Doc Murray is taking an eternity to get this game underway. Now the referee holds the clock up. Time's back on as Murray restarts. And Leeds must get the ball up the other end, and quickly too, with Harris. We enter the last minute, and Wigan are ahead by a single point. Collins is hauled down by Hall and by Neil Baines. Yestin Harris, Terry Newton.
Will it be a kick and chase? Probably their only option.
Great play from Collins. Oh, he tried to get the pass away. It bounced off Cassidy. Wigan have got it back. That's just about it, I think, now.
Farrell saying to Robinson as he went past him, go down, calm. Collins, he tried to keep it alive. There's no option. They're running out of time, Leeds. You can't blame the hooker for that one. They were desperate to keep that ball alive.
Less than half a minute now to play, and Wigan will certainly take this set of 6.
And then they'll kick, make sure it goes into touch. They'll play to this left-hand touch line.
Well, it was a drop goal on Monday that won the points for Salford from Steve Blakely, and it's going to be a drop goal here from Andy Farrell that's going to win this match for Wigan, because it's time up here at Headingley. Next tackle, and that will be the end of it. The ball will go out, and there's the siren. Tony Smith punches the air with delight. Andy Farrell hugs everyone in sight. First time that Tony Smith has been on the winning Wigan side, and Farrell's drop goal wins this epic encounter here at Headingley. 17 points to 16. A tremendous match. You have to feel sympathy for Leeds, but Wigan come up with the victory courtesy of Andy Farrell. Matthew and all the Leeds players know they gave their all. It just wasn't quite enough. And Farrell's goal wins it for Wigan. So they stop the rot.
Fantastic game here at Headingley. Wigan have won it by 17 points to 16. It's the drop goal from Andy Farrell that has won the match. Twice now in the space of a week we have had a game won by a 1-point drop goal. Who was your man of the match? Phil Hassan had a big game for Leeds, 23%. Andy Farrell, 54%, he's won it. Robinson caught the eye too, the others just 3%. So Andy Farrell, who kicked the 1-pointer, who has kicked Wigan to victory, is the man of the match, and he's now talking to Bill.
Man of the match goes to Wigan's captain, Andy Farrell. There's your personal video and a little television. But my word, Warriors is the name, and that was a performance worthy of a team of Warriors, wasn't it?
That was a big effort from the lads. I mean, I'm sure the Sky viewers don't realise how strong this wind is here. It's horrendous to play against it in the second half, and we dug deep and we needed that win, and all credit to the lads.
How deep did you have to dig?
Very deep. I mean, Leeds were coming at us very strong. We knew they would. You know, they were kicking us into the corners. We was trapped there for, you know, a lengthy spell in the second half, and you know, we just dig deep, played out the set of 6, which we haven't been doing in recent weeks, and we've come up with a victory in the end.
And it really must be a sweet victory, because you've had a lot of flack this week, a lot of questions about Wigan's future, and this is a performance that, while it wasn't perfect, it might answer a few of the critics.
Yeah, I hope it does. I mean, we have had a lot of flack, but there's a lot of determination in this side. It's a very young side, and you know, we give it our best shot every week, and you know, we try to win every week, and hopefully we can go on from here now.
And just finally, that drop goal scraped you home, didn't it?
It was, yeah. I was more worried about dropping it, because I thought the ball was going to blow it out my way, but just you know, thank God.
Well, relief is certainly the word. I was quite pleased with the overall performance, and I felt at half-time that we were a little unlucky to be only a couple of points ahead. I thought we controlled the game really well then. Second half, the wind seemed to get up, and that made life difficult for us. And as you say, it was relief at the end. We really needed that victory. If you give a big effort like that and you get beat, it's hard to pick up team morale. But the team spirit's good, and they're playing for one another, and they're digging deep for one another. And as I say, the fact that they've got the victory, that will only help and encourage them.
It really was a crucial victory, wasn't it? You're taking a lot of stick this week. If you'd lost tonight, more stick. It could make all the difference, couldn't it?
It is, yeah, and it's a fine line, and I'm particularly pleased for the youngsters who've come in, because really they've never been in this situation where they've had stick before. They've always gone onto the field in a Wigan shirt, and there's been a roll on, and they've been winning things, and they've been everybody's heroes. But now they're finding that, as I say, we're back amongst the pack. There's no getting away from it, but it was a tremendous performance. And when we do add 1 or 2 more players, as we are looking to do,